What's going on, guys? This is Frank Hatzis, and this is Rope Dart School. A question came in from an instructor of rope dart asking specifically about skill levels. How do you know the skill level of a student? And I even expanded on it for myself. It's like, how do I even know my own skill level? Now, the reason knowing a skill level is important is not to judge anybody. It's so that as instructors, we could recognize where they are and we know where we have to take them next. When you look at Rope Dart Academy curriculum, it's very, very step-by-step comprehensive. So if I do a private lesson with somebody that, say, has rope dart experience, all I need to do is watch them for about 30 seconds, get a good idea of the techniques and skill level that they have currently, and that makes it real easy to then take them to the next level. So when looking traditionally, we think of skill levels as beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Those are just very broad categories, and I always like to think that there's a million numbers in between 1 and 2. So there's no definitive box you could ever really put any student in. It's just a way to gauge where they're at technique-wise so that you can then catapult them forward to the next level. If I don't use beginner, intermediate, and advanced, what do I use? Well, the truth is I do use those, but I also add. So my scale looks like this: beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, advanced intermediate, advanced, advanced pro. So those are 6 categories instead of 3. Now again, they're not so definitive. When you think of different skill levels for a rope dartist, think of it like the colors of a rainbow. The colors just kind of fade into each other, so there's no real place on a rainbow where yellow or orange starts or ends. They fade into each other, and yet the definitive color is still there. So when you're teaching someone or even yourself, just think like you're moving through skills like the colors of a rainbow. It's very seamless. It's not a hard, you're a beginner, now you're intermediate, now you're the... Get rid of that. That's not the way it works. And you'll save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of headache by adopting more categories and knowing that students are going to seamlessly move through them. So let's discuss the categories now. Let's start with beginner. A beginner is any student who understands basic planes, basic footwork, basic timing. Now, I do want to say that for beginner all the way through advanced pro skill levels, I'm assuming the dartist has proper planes and footwork, because if they don't, then it really doesn't matter what they want to learn or how long they've been doing it. They have to get the proper planes and footwork first. So assuming the beginner has that, your basic elbow spins, your basic weaves, your basic thigh spins, your basic neck spins, some basic shots, knee, foot, elbow. After beginner, we have an advanced beginner. This is a student that is now using or playing around with wraps. Now, the advanced beginner can also take the spins, take the shots, take the wraps, and put them together, start linking and connecting techniques. Now, when the student is actually combining spins, shots, wraps, so they're not standalone techniques. It's not like they do a spin, a shot, and a wrap. It's more of they did a dragon wrap to a necklace wrap to an elbow shot. That's somebody I would consider to be intermediate. Now, moving along the scale, we have advanced intermediate. And before we get to advanced intermediate, I just want to back up. So a beginner, an advanced beginner, and an intermediate rope dartist are doing what I refer to as principle-based techniques. They're learning the principles of motion for the rope dart, the basics, the building blocks. Once they have that going from beginner to advanced beginner to intermediate, now in advanced intermediate, I start introducing value-based concepts and techniques. Things like sunrises, non-stalls, leg weaves, contact style, dark planes, cradles, things of this nature. After advanced intermediate, you have advanced. An advanced rope dartist is the rope dartist that can take the value-based concepts, the non-sols, the sunrises, things of that nature, and start connecting those links together and even expanding upon them. When we say, if I said a non-stall, you would say, what kind of non-stall? And if I said an overlord, you would say, what kind of overlord non-stall? A single, a double, a complete? I don't know. Do you mean a belt wrap non-stall? Do you mean there's all these different, categories within categories within categories. And that's really where the advanced players start coming in. Now, the final category, advanced pro, is the rope dartist that can basically adopt the styles and flow of advanced dartists. So I think of an advanced artist, somebody that has their own style, Cassidy Barney with his cradles, his wrap cradles, all the crazy cradle stuff he does. All of you rope dartists out there right now that are learning from Cassidy and adopting his style into your own, I would consider you an advanced pro rope dartist as long as everything was clean. I get somebody that's been rope darting for a week can very much struggle through a basic cradle. But look, at the end of the day, I got to be honest with you. If it looks like trash, if it looks really bad, then, an advanced technique and advanced dartist are mutually exclusive. You understand what I'm saying? Just because somebody thinks they're advanced, just look at their planes, look at their footwork, look at their timing. That will tell you 99% of where they're at with a rope dart is in their feet, period. Going back to timing, something that did come up, and this dartist that reached out to me agreed that the amount of time a rope dartist has been practicing their craft doesn't necessarily reflect their skill level. And of course, sometimes it does. A rope dartist of 10 years is most likely going to have more to show you than a rope dartist of 1 week. However, a rope dartist, a brand new rope dartist that's been rope darting for an hour every single day for 1 year has now logged 365 hours of practice. A rope dartist of 2 years that has only rope darted once a week for an hour in that time has only logged about 104 hours of practice. Guys, that's a difference of 260 plus hours of practice. So you tell me who's the advanced dartist. I think we both agree the dartist of 1 year is probably the more advanced rope dartist at that point, based on the amount of time they put in. But again, it's not something I would hang my hat on. Look at the feet. Without sounding weird and fetishy, just look at their feet. If their feet are moving properly in conjunction with their upper body, it can't be like the upper body is doing one thing and the feet are doing another thing. It can't be like that. They both have to be working together. And if a student cannot do that, they're probably in the beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate phase of their rope dart journey. And you know what? That's fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. So that's my breakdown. That's how I personally, and let me just back up. This is not to judge anybody. We're not judging anybody. As instructors, we want to know not only where do we fall in line with techniques, but how can we best assist our students in learning what they need to learn? And the only real way to do that, in my humble opinion, is understanding where their skill level is at. All right, guys, I hope you found this video informative for not only yourself, maybe even more importantly for your students, that you could assist them and get them to where they want to be. It's great to be doing Rope Dart School videos again. We got a brand new mic, so I hope the audio is coming in really, really sweet. Until next time, peace, love, Dart Life.